Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Oh, no. You all can do better than that. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Ina Jones, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 10th annual Essence of Fatherhood ceremony. Can you say a decade? It's been a decade since the school district honored this great opportunity to honor the men and the fathers and significant male role models in the lives of our scholars. We are so grateful that the district saw fit to do this. Many times in districts you see things like this starting, but they don't continue on. So it's truly a blessing to be able to come tonight to celebrate fathers and significant male role models. So on behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Tiffany Bronson, in her absence, we'd just like to welcome you. And we hope that you will enjoy this beautiful, auspicious occasion where the world is beating up on our men, but yet we are celebrating them. So let's put our hands together for being able to celebrate. We want to thank the children, our scholars, for taking time out to write a poetry about the men in their lives that's making a difference. This means a lot to us, and it means a lot to them. So not only would the honorees be honored tonight, but also our scholars will be honored tonight. So I guess that's my cue to turn over the mic. So once again, I'd like all of the honorees to please stand and let everyone just give the honorees that are here already a big round of applause. Awesome. Thank you. So it is my great pleasure to turn over the mic to one of our great leaders here in Elementary School District 159, one of our assistant principals, Richard Brown. He came into our school district hitting the ground, doing what he needs to do, being a great influencer, a great role model to our young people, not only the young men, but to the young women as well. And when I asked him to be the host on tonight, he was so excited about it. So please put your hands together and give him a warm welcome as he takes the mic. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you to Ms. Jones for that warm welcome. Welcome everyone to, again, Elementary School District 159's 10th Annual Essence of Fatherhood ceremony. At this time, what we would like to do is acknowledge any elementary school district staff members that are present. We would like you to please stand. Please stand and be acknowledged. Any elementary school district 159 staff members, please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you. And at this time, I would also like to acknowledge our exceptional Elementary School District 159 School Board. If we have any members, and I would love to have our school board president, Ms. Cherie Morton, please come forward with remarks.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? So, what is a father in most households? He's the protector, the provider, and the disciplinarian. As most moms would know, because that's where our confrontation comes, because they're the disciplinarians. Fathers are the hero, the bodyguard, the inspiration to the young boys, and the king to their princesses. Fathers sometimes go unnoticed, which is why I love this event, because it admires the amazing fathers in our district. District 159, we have the opportunity to have many amazing fathers. My husband was one, which is why I'm still rocking his jersey. But I did have a poem that I would like to read to some of you dads from Joanna Futz. You are my hero, Dad. You secure my foundation. When I think of you, I'm filled with love and found appreciation. You make me feel protected. I'm sheltered by care. You're always my true friend. When I need you, you're always there. You have a place of honor deep within my heart. You've been my superhero, Dad, right from the very start. So dads, many of you are blessed to have your lovely children. They are blessed to have you. So just always know that to them, you're their hero. And that's why I wanted to read this poem to you today, because you are their hero. So thank you all so much. Again, I'm Sheree Ward, your school board president, and you guys are some amazing fathers, and you have an amazing evening.
Thank you, Ms. Moore, for those words, acknowledging our fathers. So at this time, we're getting ready to turn it over to Mr. Dan Jensen and our fabulous Colin Powell Middle School Jazz Band. Can we please give them a round of applause? Who's Bad by Michael Jackson. Can we give our jazz band another round of applause? All right. At this time, I want to bring up one of our sensational 7th grade students. When we talk about a scholar, this young lady exhibits a student athlete to the fullest example that you can recognize. She's going to come with a poetry reading entitled Champion. At this time, can we give a warm welcome for Raquela Spruill.
Hi everybody. So this is my poem, Champion. An all-star winner in you, this saying cannot be any truer. My wingman that's always willing to assist. A reminding me it's all in the flick of the wrist. Selfless and always see that I score, flashing lights soon as you walk through the door, cheering you on and throwing up the alley-oop, capturing my highlights while doing the school, encouraging me to knock it out the park for a home run, accepting my emotions, knowing girls just want to have fun, being my holder to help me deliver a field goal, continuously exceeding and fulfilling your role, tirelessly working but present without calling it time out, never neglecting me, giving me no reason to pound. Push me over the hump like a quarterback sneak, telling me to never hide in life, but to go out and see. With your long yards of love, I'm able to achieve a touchdown, basking in my glory and bestowing me a crown. You are the most valuable player above the sea because you before I continue to be the best version of me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rule. So at this time, before we move to our refreshments, I ask everyone to please take a moment to bow your heads. Heavenly Father, today we thank you for Ms. Jones and the committee putting together this 10th Fatherhood award ceremony. We ask that you look over and uplift each and every honoree, each and every scholar that's being recognized this evening. But then, Father, as we take on these refreshments, we ask that you bless those hands that prepare the meal for the nourishment of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so at this time, refreshments will be served, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Jones at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Okay, so we do have 2 stations tonight to help expedite the serving. So this front row here, you can go over here to my right, to your left, and that back row, you can start back there. And everybody doesn't have to move at the same time. You can go.
Well, what we would like for you to do while you're consuming the refreshments, hope that you're enjoying them. We're going to go ahead and move forward with our program. And I want to bring forth the gentleman that I've had the pleasure, this is my second year working with this young man. And I'm just going to give you a few words that truly describes him. Sharp, intelligent, charismatic, caring. He exhibits all of the characteristics that a leader should possess and have. And he models that daily. But also, he is a proud father. So with no further ado, everyone please put your hands together for our very own Coley Powell Middle School Principal, Dr. Jason Streeter. Let's welcome him.
our staff, so I can't stand on the stage. All right. I just want to, first off, just thank everybody for coming. All the people who are fathers, the father figures, thank you so much for coming out. And I would just be remiss. I'm looking around the room and I'm trying to keep it together because my assistant superintendent's been mean mugging me since I've been here because she knows I'm supposed to be at home. I have struggling with some bronchitis stuff and I wasn't supposed to be here, but I was not going to not come. So I talked a little bit, I'm going to show a little bit about persevering through it, and that's what I'm doing tonight. Before I begin, I want to do something. Every person who is a father figure in this room, whether you are an awardee or not, can you please stand? Every father figure, I didn't say father, if you're a father figure. Bless her heart, she said she's a father figure too. All right, so what I'm going to have you all to do is have a seat. And I hate to do musical chairs, but I just have to do this. If there's anybody in this room who is part of my men's prayer group, please, Bible study, please stand up. I see you, Lossie, I see you, Bam. Where's H-Ray? Anthony? H-Ray. Okay, keep standing. Anybody that graduated from Percy Junior High School that came, stand on up. All right, Marcus, all right, Nick Bell, all right, Alex. All right. Thank you all for coming. Much love to you all. You all can have a seat. My cousin Big D, my kids, Jordan and Fred, love y'all. All right. My homeboy Marcus, since I was 8, since I gave him my chocolate milk. My dad is no longer with us. And so I was kind of troubled by whether or not I was going to speak. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my brother's death, so that made it terribly difficult. But there's one person I want to acknowledge who's been in the trenches with me since 2008. He's the reason why I'm an administrator, gave my first administrative experience, and every single time I failed and stumbled and didn't make the mark and messed up and probably got on his nerves, he kept loving me, kept next to me. I want my main man, Dr. Anthony Edison, please stand up, please. Y'all give this man a round of applause. Thank you. All right, without further ado, let's get it on.
Tom having a great match back at Olympic Stadium in Barcelona, coming up to the men's 400-meter semifinals. Here are the lane assignments. Steve Lewis in lane 3. Top 4 to Wednesday's final.
The essence of fatherhood. Fathers help you finish. Fathers help you finish. If you visit our school, we're big on performance-based objectives. And so, I went to my classroom, you'll see their objectives on the board. Teachers have their objectives posted. What we do is called annotating them. That means we identify any words that may be unfamiliar. So when we talk about the essence of fatherhood, fatherhood is pretty self-explanatory, being a father, like role, but to be the essence of it. According to Webster's dictionary, it's displaying certain qualities that are essential. So to exude the essence of fatherhood does not mean you have to be a father. I know many single mothers who are fathers. They exude the essence of fatherhood. And this mic is going to go in and out, and I'm going to go in and out with it. All right? But as I'm before you today, I'm going to leave you with 5 tips that I know are key to winning this game of fatherhood or manhood. All right? I'm going to go with the first one. First slide. Number 1, knowing the difference between commitment and compliance. The difference between commitment and compliance. I don't even think I'm going to have you play the videos, Ms. Director. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. If you're old school, you know about Michael Vick. Who's heard of Michael Vick before? Raise your hand. All right, in the early 2000s, Michael Vick was a quarterback that played for the Atlanta Falcons. That boy was bad. He was bad. He was must-see TV. Even if you didn't like it, my mama knew about you. Who is this boy Michael Vick? She didn't follow sports. You made sure to tune in at nighttime to find out, what did he do today? He ran the fastest. He was the most elusive. He was a bad boy. But if you also know about Michael Vick, you know that his career took a major detour. See, Michael Vick arrested for illegal dogfighting. Great. But he took a pivot because he was arrested and in prison for a couple of years. He came back afterwards, but it was never really the same. Now, most people will think that the tragedy of Michael Vick was that he was in prison. And that's true. But what I learned after that, after he had been in prison, I learned something that was really good. You see, Michael Vick said in an interview that after practice, he would take his playbook and throw it in the trunk and wouldn't look at it again until it was time to practice again. So on one side I'm thinking, man, he's that awesome? This dude don't need to play. But then I started thinking, wow, he was just compliant. He went along with the rules. What would have happened if he was committed? The next guy you see on his friend, if you know this guy, raise your hand. Everybody there, Jordan, you better raise your hand. My daughter's right. Who's number 34? Walter Payton. What nickname, y'all? Sweetness. Talk back to him. Walter was not the best. He was not the strongest. He was not the most elusive. But if you know about Walter, the image that's in your brain is training regimen. Walter had this mindset. He says, listen, since everybody's trying to tackle me and I'm not the biggest, since they want to not kill me, but he said, if I got to die, my coach said, don't die easy, die hard. So you're going to come and tackle me, I'm going to bring it back to you. And so people would ask him, Walter, you're one of the greatest. How do you do this? How do you played all these years, you only missed one game his entire career, his training regimen. So some of the best players, we're going to come and train with you in the off-season. They training regimen, not going to the gym or eating well, these huge levees, these hills that he would run up. And these guys, their tongues were hanging out like, man, I can't make it. I can't train like he trains. He knew that he had to be dedicated to his preparation. Mike Vick, I love him. He was compliant. Walter was committed. There's a difference. So I'm talking to my men. I know there are women in here today. I'm talking to my men today. First key, identify, where am I committed? Where am I just going through the motions I'm doing it because it's just in me. That's commitment. That's point number one. I'm going to stick with the sports thing if y'all can't, if y'all hadn't noticed. Dedication to your playbook. Everybody has faith. It's just a matter of what you have faith in, who you have faith in. I know for me, I know what my faith is. It's a little book. Most widely known book in the whole wide world. The acronym for this book is Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, otherwise known as the Bible. That's just how I work. So every day, my playbook is what drives me. But it may not need to be a Bible. What about positive affirmations? You think about whatever it is that drives you, that's your playbook. For some, if you're not experiencing what you need to experience, maybe your playbook is the wrong playbook. Let that marinate. Maybe your playbook is the wrong playbook. What do you use to drive you every single day? Do you pick it up once a week and then drop it back down? Or is it something that it lives within you? I'm not going to be before you long. These are major points. Go ahead, Mr. Y'all do me a favor. Repeat after me. Good, better, best. We never let it rest until our good becomes our better and our better becomes our best. Oh, I like that. Good, better, best. We never let it rest until our good becomes our better and our better becomes our best. Good, better, best. We never let it rest until our good becomes our better and our better becomes. In order to do that, you got to persevere. Persevere through the pain. Persevere with a purpose. We had some technical difficulties. That's why I'm using my phone right now. I think the most important part about persevering with a purpose, how do you help others? When you feel like you're losing, there are going to be times that you feel like, I'm not cutting the mustard. I'm not winning. It's not working out for me. Whether it's financially, whether it's relationally, whether it's spiritually, whether it's physically, whether it's professionally, it's not working. This is when perseverance with a purpose, not on purpose, but with purpose. With purpose. What is it that drives you? There was a quote that I heard some years ago, and it stuck with me. And I'm rephrasing it tonight. But the quote says, well, I streeterized it. If being a great man is your dream destination, then you're probably going to need a couple of extra doses of dedication. Because any great man will tell you without any hesitation, you don't win in the game, you win in the preparation. Oh, I like that. A dedication to preparation. You don't win in the game, you win in the preparation. How many of you all saw the TV show, but The Last Dance? Y'all seen anybody see The Last Dance that came out last year with Michael Jordan? Okay, raise your hand. Y'all raise your hand, all right. Okay. If you watched it, I think it was episode 8 or 9, where they did a study or focus. They focused on Michael's surrogate father, Gus Lett. All right? Well, Gus Lett lived in my neighborhood. Gus's son, Kelvin, was who I played with. So Mr. Lett would always say, listen, me and a couple of my buddies, if you all get good grades, I take you to the Bulls. And this is before the Bulls became champions. So this is at the old Chicago Stadium. So you could go into the old Chicago Stadium at that time and nobody was there. It's pretty empty. So sometimes we get there around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and I mean it's completely empty. And so we be running around, and sometimes seeing the players when they come in, seeing Horace and Scotty and Bill Cartwright, and then sometimes even other celebrities. I remember I stood Richard Dent. But there was one thing that stood out. One time I was just running around, and the center court where the Bulls logo was illuminated, the light was on, but both sides, both baskets, it was dark. And I'm just standing and I'm hearing, I'm like, what's dedication and preparation. He's in there, like, he doesn't need to do it. He was already that man, but he knew, I'm just trying to get a leg up. Because when the light come on, I'm not getting ready, I stay ready. I'm already ready. That messed me up. That was probably, and I've seen, I'm a Michael Jordan fanatic, of all the great things that I saw, that messed with my brain. He's that dedicated, up in there in the dark. And I heard a lot of, so that means he was hitting something. He wasn't missing a lot. That's dedication with preparation. But if you know his story, you know it wasn't always easy. I'd have to go back through the Michael Jordan stories. You know that he had to overcome some things, but he had a purpose, and he persevered with that purpose. This one I want you just to let this mirror. Be honest about your injury status. If you watch sports, sometimes guys are so passionate about what they're doing, they will lie and tell the coach they're not in because they want to play. Sometimes they'll do more hurt to their team than good. Now that's a sports analogy, but I'm talking real life right now. Somebody might be thinking, yeah, I'm feeling the pain of where I messed up as a father. I'm feeling injured by the fact that I'm divorced. I'm wearing the scars of death or depression. I could just go a whole other route on that one. Because for men, it's taboo. You can talk about, you can break your arm, break your neck, break anything. But talk about, I'm feeling emotionally unstable. I'm going to share something. This is a little pivot. It may be funny, but it means something. So a friend of mine, some years ago, her dog jumped out of the car while she was driving and got hit. So she pulled over, and she just was screaming and hollering, losing it. Before you knew anything, there was a lady consoling the dog, another lady directing traffic, somebody on the phone calling the paramedics. It was just like, these are strangers. And so I know the dog ended up all right. But I teased her. I said, man, your dog jumped out the car. And because you were sick, you started crying in the middle of the street. Somebody help me. Everybody came. I teased her. I said, let me take my behind out of the street. I said, oh my God, something's wrong. They were like, call the police. What's wrong with that man? Why are you in the middle of the street crying? Because it's not acceptable for men to talk about their hurts. That's a joke, a bad joke. So that's why I'm pressing pause right here. It's okay to say, I'm struggling. It's okay to say, I don't have it. It's okay to say, I could really use a hand. I'm hurting right now. My last point. Only compare yourself to yourself. Matter of fact, only compare yourself. I'm gonna go back. Let me back up a little bit. I'm liking the sports analogy. If you watch sports after the event, what do? You're gonna look at the film. You look at the film and see, how did I perform? How did I do? We are only as good as our last performance. Check the tape. And when you check the tape, Brother Spruill, you're not checking to see what somebody else did. Check to see what you did. Don't compare yourself with other people. That's a lose-lose proposition. Because only one or two things going to happen. One, you'll compare yourself to someone who you think you're better than. It's going to give you a sense of self-righteousness, like you're all that. Wrong. Or you will compare yourself to someone that you think is all that and give you it would damage your self-esteem and make you feel low. That's lose-lose. Don't do that. And as I'm saying, don't do that. I'm talking, everything that I'm talking about right now, I'm working it. So I have not arrived. All I'm doing right now is sharing what I'm working on. Because it's easy to do, compare, to look at other people and be like, wow, they have it. Oh, he or she graduated, man, I'm still in school. I don't have my degree yet. Wow, look at their family. They have it all together. If they do, God bless them, but that doesn't mean that you compare. Look at the tape. And every day. So what's today's date, y'all? What's it? I have it. March 23rd, right? Okay. Y'all can tell. So I didn't even come to school today. So I don't even know what today's date is. But tomorrow, Jason's job is to review the tape on how I was March 23rd. And press to get better. Are y'all feeling it? That's another Selah moment, another moment to be like, let's just marinate. Compare yourself to yourself. I'll review my 5 points. I told you I wasn't going to be before you long. Number 1, identify the difference between compliance and commitment. Number 2, knowing your playbook. Number 3, persevere with purpose. Number 4, being honest about your injury. And number 5, only comparing yourself to yourself. I'll tell you one last thing before I sit down. My mama gave me a quote. She says, she heard it, so it's not hers, but it stuck with me. She said, stop talking about people, stop comparing yourself to other people. Focus on you, mind your business. This is one of my students right here. I'm tickled about her laughing. Listen, she says, there's so much good in the worst of us, and so much bad in the best of us, that it hardly behooves any of us to talk about the rest of us. I'm going to say it again. That's hot. That'll burn your tongue, you down. Yeah. There's so much good in the worst of us, and there's so much bad in the best of us, that it hardly behooves any of us to talk about the rest of us. Is that heavy? Go ahead and clap. As I'm speaking, I'm here. Yeah, Dr. Streeter, that sounds good. As you, Mr. Principal, you got it together. You don't know my struggle. You don't know what I've been through. I have scars, Dr. Streeter. If you looked on the inside and saw everybody looks good on the outside, but underneath, you don't know what you would see, Dr. Streeter. I tell you, here's what I like to say to that person, or those persons. If you're thinking about how you look on the outside and that you have scars on the inside, welcome to the club. We all look good on the outside, but we all scarred and torn up on the inside. Everybody's got struggles. Everybody's got it. So you show your rips, you show your tears, you show your cuts. But guess what? You put your jacket on and say, guess what? This is how I roll. When y'all looked at me, nobody thought that my shirt was this raggedy underneath. Guess what? That's a news flash. All of us have some stuff. Thank y'all for listening to me. My shirt up.
Can we please give Dr. Street another round of applause for those words? Come on, let's give him another round of applause. I'd like to thank him for coming out, even though he wasn't feeling his best. But he said something profound. Compare yourself to yourself. Very powerful. And so, at this time, we're going to move forward with our presentation of awards and gifts. So tonight, as I call your name, we're going to acknowledge our Essence of Fatherhood Award recipients along with also our poetry contest, our scholars that won the poetry contest. So when I call both of your names, please come up. Also, I will call the administrators from the specific schools to come and assist with the awards. Also, I would ask our Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Fields, would you please come forward as well? At this time, we would ask the administration of Colin Powell Middle School, would you please come forward? Administration from Colin Powell, would you please come forward? While we're preparing, our first honoree is Mr. Kenny Allen. Let's give him a round of applause. And our scholarship recipient, Jordan Allen. Please come forward. Our next recipient, Mr. Woody Johnson. Our scholars, Mr. Najee and Ms. Monica Johnson, would you please come forward? While they're coming, we're going to keep moving forward. Our next recipient, Mr. Edward Klug. Mr. Edward Klug. Please come forward. And our contest winner, Miss Rakayla Spruill, please come forward. Next we have Mr. Lee Medley. Mr. Lee Medley. And our contest winner, Ms. Aniston Medley, would you both please come forward if you're present. Next we have Mr. Arnold Sanchez. Mr. Arnold Sanchez, please come forward. And our contest winner is Ms. Celeste Cernu. Please, let's give them a hand as they're making their way to the stage. And as they're making their way to the stage, our next administrative team, we will be representing Maria Yates. Can we get our administration from Maria Yates, if they're present, to come forward? Let's give all the recipients and awardees from Colin Powell a hand, please. All right, so now moving on to Maria Yates, Mr. Maurice Brown, and our contest winner, Ms. Mackenzie Brown. Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way to the stage. Our next awardee, Mr. Bill Ellis, and our scholar is Ms. Amory Ellis. Next award recipient, Mr. John Phillippe. Our scholar is Phillippe. Please come forward. At this time, we want to recognize Mr. Anthony Swift. Our scholar recipient, our scholar contest winner is Mr. Avery Swift. Gentlemen, please come forward. Our next honoree is Mr. Kenneth Williams, and our next contest winner is Mr. Kinsley Williams. Miss Kinsley, here they come at this time. All right, let's give our Mary Yates recipients and contest winners another round of applause. And at this time, we ask administration from Cedar Prairie. Cedar Prairie, please come forward. Cedar Prairie, please come forward. Ms. Tancredi, I'm going to ask you, can you come forward to assist, please? Thank you. We would like to recognize Mr. Albert Crittenden, and our scholar contest would be Miss Aubrey Rose. Please come forward. All right. Next we have Mr. Brian Freeney and Miss Angelina Freeney. Would you please come forward? Next we have Mr. Alvarado Hernandez, and our scholar contest winner is Miss Natalie Hernandez. Please come forward. Next we have Mr. Aaron Pandy. Our contest winner is Miss Zoraya Pandy. And finally, from Cedar Prairie, we have Mr. Victor Sims Sr. and Mr. Victor Sims Jr. All right. So as these last recipients from Cedar Prairie receive their awards, can we please give them a round of applause? And we would ask the administration from Woodgate, would you please come forward? Would the administration from Woodgate please come forward? Or as they come forward, we would like to ask Mr. Gregory Anderson to please come forward, along with Mr. Isaiah Anderson. Mr. Gregory Anderson and Mr. Isaiah Anderson. Our next recipient, I do not want to badger this name up at all, so please forgive me. Mr. Chikata Onomego. I'm so sorry for that in your name. And over here too, Onomego, please come forward. Mr. Carl Scott Sr. and Mr. Carl Scott Jr., please come forward. Mr. Carl Scott Sr., Mr. Carl Scott Jr., please come forward. Next we have Mr. Rodney Sproul and the recipients Raymond and Ryland Sproul. Please come forward. And our final recipient from Woodgate, Mr. Melvin Woolfolk and Miss Mariah Woolfolk. Please come forward. Please give all our recipients from Woodgate another round of applause. Next we ask our Neil Armstrong administration to please come forward. And as they're making way, we would like to recognize Mr. Antoine Anderson, Mr. Antoine Anderson, and Ms. Zykeria Anderson. Okay, Zykeria. Okay. Zykeria Anderson. Next we have Ismael De La Torre and Ismael De La Torre and Miss Isimar de la Torre. If you're present, please come forward. Next we have Mr. Oyedamola Omalabi. And we have Ifedolado Omalabi. Please come forward. Next we have Mr. Richard Roberts and Calvi Roberts. Please come forward. Mr. Richard Roberts and Calvi Roberts. And our final recipient from Neil Armstrong, Mr. Jesus Sierra, and our contest winner, Mr. Jesus Sierra. Please come forward. And our final recipient of our Essence of Fatherhood, our Man of the Year award, goes to Mr. Angel Pia. Mr. Pia, please come forward. Yeah, our Man of the Year award, let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Angel Pia. As he's receiving this reward, I want to read his acknowledgments. This Man of the Year award goes to a gentleman who has been an engaged parent since he and his family moved into the school district several years ago. As a parent advocate, he made many recommendations that would help continue to gain momentum to be a blue ribbon school district. In addition, he never missed parent workshops. In fact, most of the time, he would be the only male adult present, as he and his family eagerly entered the room ready to learn. Furthermore, this gentleman served on the Superintendent Search Stakeholders Committee. He attends board meetings, and he can be found attending the off-site events such as the SCSDD parent conferences. Again, it was our great pleasure to present the Man of the Year to Mr. Hill. Let's give him another round of applause. So at this time, we would like to bring forward our Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Tanya Fields, for our closing remarks.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for attending this evening's event. First and foremost, on behalf of our dynamic superintendent, Tiffany Brunson, I would like to thank the scholars, the administrators, and the fathers for a wonderful job that you're doing with the students. So let's give our scholars a round of applause. Next, I would like to acknowledge two men that go above and beyond to serve this school each and every day. First, I would like to acknowledge Mr. Brown. A.P. Brown, can you step forward, please? Thank you so much for your service to our scholars and being a father and a father figure to so many. Next, I would like to acknowledge our principal, Dr. Jason Streeter. If you could step forward. Dr. Streeter is not only a father, but he is also a father figure, a praying man, and a man that believes that all students have the ability to soar. Thank you, Dr. Streeter. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. It's been a wonderful event. We cannot do these things without you or without Mrs. Jones. Please give a round of applause to Mrs. Jones and her team, the volunteers, Mrs. Mitchell, Mrs. Mitchell, and all of our administrative team and volunteers. The FACE team, the FACE advisory team, and of course, all of you, the parents. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and drive safely home.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Before you leave, we're gonna have a big group picture with all the honorees and the scholars. So if you can be right here in the center. Okay, so we're gonna do one here in the center and then one on the backdrop. So if you can come up, and that's for the administrators, the Board of Education members. We want you in that photo. Yes. And you are welcome to take balloons with you if you want balloons at your house. Okay, come quickly, come quickly. All the honorees and the scholars.
There are also to-go plates on the table to the right. You want to take food when you leave.